Chronicles.
What's good, fam? I'd like to welcome y'all to the Brown Boy Chronicles, the experiences and stories of 3 first-gen brown boys and 1 foreigner/immigrant brown boy just out here growing up in the States. We'd like for you to join in our challenges, our come-ups, our glow-ups, our struggles, and just overall our lives. We hope y'all enjoy. Welcome to Brown Boy Chronicles. This is Season 2, Episode 1, Family Dynamics. This is Harvey.
This is Lucky.
This is Deech.
This is KB.
Yo, so yesterday, like how we were like trying to decide what time to record and like we were trying to figure out like what's the optimal time, and you guys are telling me, just stay a little later and come back after the Gurdwara, like after we record, and like just leave after that. And I was like telling you guys like I'd rather just leave after the Gurdwara because my parents are gonna tell me, oh, you're talking to your friends for 2 hours after the Gurdwara rather than talk to us, and then you're just gonna go to your apartment. And I don't know, that just like kind of put me in a shitty mood because like I felt like I was neglecting them, but I wasn't really. But like it, like the optics of it make it seem like I'm neglecting them. But I don't know. It's just always like this small little guilt trips or emotional like trips they always like put me in. I don't know if you guys ever had that experience with like your parents.
Yeah, so speaking on that, like when you're back home, like are you actually spending like 24/7 with your parents? Because like I feel like that's not the case. Like are you not like whipping around all the time and like
I mean, I spend time at like night. Like obviously I should be spending more time with them, but like I got to do my own stuff too. And then like afterwards, like,
so then why does this make it like any different than like any other scenario of like you going and like running errands or having to do that? Like, I mean, if this is like the real deal priority, right? Like this should not be like living in your head, or you shouldn't be feeling guilty about it.
Because I think those other things, it's like at the end of the day, I'm going to come back at home, but this is like the final goodbye for like a prolonged period of time. So they rather have like me spend my like last couple of moments in the house with them rather than, talking to other people rather than them. If I'm like in the house, like if I'm out and about and like I already said my goodbyes, then it's like, not as weird. At least that's how I think about it. Like I think that's what they view it as, that too. Like if I'm at the house, I should be somewhat like they should be the last people I kind of talk to before I say goodbye, rather than my friends for like 2 hours if I'm leaving.
But how
record then and then like eat dinner with them and then dip?
I could do that too, but like I don't know, it's just always awkward. I feel like when I'm recording at home because they're always like, I know they don't really speak English and they don't understand like what I'm saying, but I feel like I can never really be myself because my sisters are there too sometimes, and I feel like they understand it. And then it's just like I really don't like recording at home, but that's just like another like reason outside of the fact that like if I don't like spend the last two like I feel like it's always just like I should be with them like as my last moment when I leave at home. It's just like an unspoken thing, like that's just like from like comments throughout, like ever since I like started college and just leaving. It's just like always like it's just the unspoken thing, like they should be the last people I kind of talk to.
It's similar for me too. Whenever I go home from New York, like my dad's always on me for like going out to see my friends from college who live nearby, and he's like, you come home, you stay like a house guest, and then you leave and you don't even talk to us, spend any time with us. And I'm sitting there like, what do you want me to talk about, man? Like we just talk about the weather, food, cooking, apartments, like that. There's nothing else to it at this point. We don't have like, I don't know, how open are you guys with like telling your parents stuff, and like do you guys like actually like talk about shit with them, or is it just like awkward?
Nah, I usually don't talk. I mean, I talk with my mom. I talk with my mom mostly, but even like stuff from like I hide stuff from her, and I usually like probably I'm closest to my sister, and I tell her everything, like anything bad or whatever. And then if she needs to tell my mom, like I go through her. But other than that, like my mom, I'm pretty open with. My dad, sometimes I talk to him, but he just like I feel like doesn't understand sometimes. He just like I'll say something, either he like just brushes it off, or like I don't know how else to describe it, but he always prioritizes his stuff over like I guess mine, if that makes sense. Like lately I've been saying like, I have like these interviews and I have to like study for them. Like they're actually like tests each time. And you have to actually code. It's not like a regular interview where you just speak and say like what your weaknesses are and shit. But like, he doesn't understand that. Like my mom understands that. but he like, I've tried explaining to him. For some reason, he just doesn't understand that. And he always expects me to do like whatever he wants all the fucking time and like help with his business when like I'm here trying to, you know, find my own career and like study for these like interviews and shit. I don't know if you guys.
Is that part of his plan for you to like take over the business?
No, it's not that. Like, I mean, eventually it's going to be like all three of us as siblings, but it's just the fact that he's like,
do you guys think you'll actually take over though? Or you guys think you'll just like let somebody else manage it? Like,
no, it'll be like, okay, this is the thing for him. It's his business, right? He built the business. It's his business. For us, like eventually later down in the line, it's gonna be a side hustle. It's not gonna be our main focus, right? It's realistic. Right now, I want like the main thing to be what my career is right now, and he doesn't understand that. And he was like, and I get it, like, right? He's unhealthy, and he had a heart surgery, and he really can't move that much. But like sometimes I just feel like I need to be like selfish and shit. And I don't know if you guys like if I'm like wrong in that terms where I have to be like selfish. Or like I always feel bad not like saying no to him or like certain things.
Why is it that your like sister is not like into the loop and she can kind of like pursue her own career, you know, live in DC?
Because she lives in DC and I live at home right now. Like my job was at home, like in Philly. So like that's like I wasn't getting like unless I get my own apartment in Philly, it just made no sense for me to get my own apartment, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I was just wondering, like if he like ever asked her to like, you know, pitch in or like something, because like it seems like she can pursue her career. And is it just because you're like the oldest son out of like your little brother and that's like kind of like expected out?
Yeah, I am the oldest, but it's also like most of the stuff is like
just
I don't know. Yeah, just because I'm home, I guess. And like even like little stuff.
They're gonna take advantage of you like when you're at home and stuff. That's like inevitable. I mean, it's really fine to be like selfish too, because like basic needs are taken care of. Like you should not be worried. Like,
yeah, but this is the thing. I'm not even like fully being selfish. I'm like, yo, like if you need help with something, let me teach you how to do it. And then he's like not willing to learn himself. He's like, why would I learn if you're here with me? Like sometimes like I'm busy, right? And I'm like, yo, I can't print this right now. I have to print it later. It's like something minuscule. Like obviously this isn't like the whole thing that I'm saying, but like as minuscule as like printing something, I'm like, yo, I'll download the app on your phone or whatever. Like you just print it from there. And he's like, he doesn't want to learn, but then I'll download fucking Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever. And he's fucking on there 24/7. I'm like, yo, like I'm busy right now. I can help you. And like, to like learn this fucking thing or learn this app and you can like, you know, fully do it.
Isn't it like mind-boggling how like far like they've like our parents have like come with like some basic ass knowledge and like they can't do like the simplest things of like printing something on the fucking computer or like sending a text, but yet like they like created like full-on businesses and shit. Like it's fucking, and not getting like finessed, you know what I mean, and not getting tricked to do something else. Like it's fucking crazy. The other thing is like, I mean, it's because they're able to like communicate with other people. I mean, that's like one of the main like human desires is to like to talk to other people and like be social. Them printing something is not giving them any kind of like anything, so they're just gonna obviously push that trait on to you and like not want to learn. But like communicating with like their long lost cousin from India, like they all hopping on the opportunity 100%.
I just want to say, like, I'm not saying like printing's the only thing, by the way. Like,
I know, but like still, like little minuscule tasks and stuff like that. Like, it's like, and what advantage do they really get when they know like it could just be like handed off? They're just micromanaging you at the end of the day. I mean, that makes a good leader right there. And they're being leaders.
No, but like the main issue is like he wants me to help like like with real estate, you know, you have to like kick tenants out, you have to go to court, you have to clean, you have to like mow the lawns and whatever. And I told him to get like a manager or something because he's grown old and I'm like, I need to focus on my career. Like this, like me, my sister and my brother have told him like this is not like our main focus right now. Eventually, like obviously we'll help you out, but like right now we're trying to focus on our careers and like make sure we're set financially, like stable ourselves, because real estate's not like what I want to do, you know?
Is it worth a conversation with him at this point, or like is he just so set in his way that he won't get it?
Dude,
I guess I don't know.
I think for like Indian parents, it's just like if shit is already working, they don't want to put in the effort to change. Like for like Facebook, there's like a benefit out of it, like, you know, they get to communicate with other people, like everything they built on is like word of mouth, like communication, one-to-ones. So like that's like there's a benefit in them to getting on Facebook. For them to like learn how to print, that's just process improvement. They don't give a fuck about process improvement. Shit's already working as it is. They can pawn that shit off to someone else. So they don't see any like investment in process improvement if like everything is working. You know,
you said about the way they raise their kids too. There's a formula. There's like definitely a formula that they're still following with raising Indian children in America. It's like a template.
100%, you know, like they literally like, I feel like in a way, like they think outside of the box when it comes to like owning these empires, such as like, you know, like an equity business or whatever it is. But when it comes to like emotional side of things, it's just like they don't think outside of the box. They're like, oh, my parents made me raise this way, look how it turned out. I'm gonna instill those same values into this little motherfucker and he'll turn out like me. And at least some part of it, obviously, I don't think that's like 100% like that way, but at least that's how I view them.
You ever had the conversation like with your dad, like, yo, you've been doing it like this long, like by yourself, like just like why can't you just do it for like 5 more years until I establish myself and then I'll come and like help in, right? Because he's been doing it for like this long all by himself and without your help. Because I mean, when you were a kid and shit, it's not like you were helping with like the real estate shit. So like, why not? Have you provided that excuse to him?
No, I mean, I've told him, like, I've been doing this since like 5th grade, right? Helping him out in any way I can, right? In 5th grade, I started mowing lawns for him and started painting, started dealing with lease papers and all that shit. But like, at this point, it's kind of like lucky. It's like the guilt trip. Like he's unhealthy, so like it's like he always guilt trips me and saying like, what are you guys gonna do like when I die or whatever, right? he literally, that's what he says. He like guilt trips that way. So it's like, I feel bad too.
That's like every parent though, yo.
No,
Yeah,
every weekend I go home, there's not a single time my mom doesn't say we only have a few years left. Like, why does it matter? Like, there's no like, I can't even say anything back to them. Like you're not gonna listen anyways. I just like kind of brush it off. I just like, they say it, I just kind of ignore it and then just like we move on with the conversation.
I mean, I hope I'm not like bitching to our viewers or whatever, because like I think like the only thing I really brought up was training, but that's just something minor. But like other stuff too is just like, it's not like I'm not willing to do it. It's just I'm like, yo, I'll do it, but like not right now. I'm like working right now, so I'll put it like, give me like a couple hours. But he wants it done right away or whatever. Or he tells me last minute too. I'm like, yo, if you need something done, just tell me like a couple hours before, a day before, like even a week before, like whenever you know you need me to do something, like on the weekend or something. But he does it like last minute, which is like the most annoying part about it.
This is like the way he treats your sister versus you, like, or like, and your other brother. I
mean, it's probably the same. The one thing about Indian parents, I feel like no matter how old you are, they always treat you like fucking kids. I don't know if you guys feel that. Like, I feel like,
for sure.
No, they've seen you like grow up. Obviously, you're always going to be like a kid in their eyes. I feel like when we have kids, like we're probably going to perceive our children like that too. Like I might be like a 7-year-old man with like a 35-year-old son, but like he's still going to be like a little kid, like in my eyes, because like you fucking are changing their like diapers. You're like teaching them how to use a potty. Like, I mean, like all that stuff doesn't just, like,
but I was saying, like they took the risk to come here, you know, on their own, whatever. They risked it, like, you know, they learned from their own experiences, whatever, coming to America. Like we're in America already, and like we're trying to learn from our own experiences as well, or like try making our own mistakes and learn from those mistakes as well. It's not always about like babying someone or like, I don't even know, like hovering over people, and like this is like, it's only one fucking path, but there's like not one fucking path to whatever we're doing, you know?
I think you should take the move, what's called the leap, and move out.
Yeah,
like Lucky did. I mean, it's a good thing you're staying with your sister for a bit in DC, but
that's why I moved to DC too.
A lot of Indian kids,
one of the reasons.
Yeah, I mean, they have the opportunity to hover above you. That's just like they're just programmed to do that. So like you just have to make that decision and like dip.
Even when I moved to New York, my dad was like, "You should commute." I was like, "Fuck that, dude! I was working in East New York, and
they always want you to do something.
It's like a 4-hour. But I think that's like a thing in India, especially with like Indian college students and stuff. Most of my cousins, they commute to college back and forth every day. Like their social life is, you know, go study with their friends, like especially now, like it's probably online, and it's not really like what we had. And then after the fact, I think like they just stay with the family until they're married off, you know?
Crazy.
I think they haven't like understood, like we kind of grew up with the internet, so we have other avenues to like kind of learn from and like kind of take in other people's experiences and like kind of internalize them and like figure out our own things. Whereas back then in India, or like, you know, our parents when they were coming of age or growing up, it's just like, you know, there wasn't that much information available. The only information you got was from your like parents and like other people rather than, you know, a broad spectrum like the internet. So I think that probably plays a role in them trying to like always like tell you this is how you should do this is how, because they just don't think that we can figure it out on ourselves. Like it's like that doesn't cross their mind. Like we have other people to talk to, we have the internet to like kind of find this information.
I mean, it's also like they grew up in like, I feel like we're trying to be more independent as individuals, and they grew up in more like family oriented. And I'm not saying like I'm not family oriented, but like at a certain point, I still want to be like my own individual, right? I don't want my parents to define who I am. And I feel like, you know, back in India, whatever business they had, like farming, right? It's all within the family. Like you learn from your father and everything like that. Everything's and I feel like that's what like my dad's trying to do with like real estate. But I'm like, I just want to do my own thing right now. Like, you know, give me like 2 years or like, just give me till I like, you know, find a job and I'm chilling. But
is it actually like a deadline type of thing, or is it like you kind of leave it open ended, be like, yo, let me like figure my shit out, or do you think it just like kind of calms them down if you give them like a time frame?
I mean, he just doesn't get it. I guess he doesn't get like how intensive interviews are. My one family uncle tried explaining to him too that like there's like multiple rounds of interviews. It's not just like one round of. It's not like a factory job. You know, it's not like fucking what's your weakness, you know, what kind of animal would you be type shit.
Yeah, it's not like they're just extracting labor. Like, you know, they're extracting like what's in your mind and like if you can like do certain things and like yeah, no, I completely understand like them not just comprehending the like, you know, difficulty when it comes to like these interviews, the interview process. Because I don't know, did your dad like ever like do anything outside of real estate before that, or was it just always just like business from the get-go?
It was always business. I mean, he used to obviously drive a taxi in New York and shit like that. But it was always like, he never really worked for someone else, if that makes sense. So he like was always like doing his own thing. Obviously when he moved, he was working for like, you know, but he was doing like probably like cash only or some shit like that. But he wasn't like really like check to check interviewed for a job type shit. I never did that.
Yo, you know what's interesting? I was like thinking about that when I was like driving with my mom to my apartment and we were just like randomly talking. For like maybe Deechu might be like a little excluded out of this. I don't know. Like it seems like your dad is like pretty well educated. Like my parents, like they didn't even graduate like India's high school, but they still had like the foresight to like push education. Like that's like kind of like a commendable thing, because they told me like their parents don't give a fuck if you studied or like, you know, you went to school or at all. Like as long as you're doing labor and like, you know, bringing home a paycheck to like pay the bills, that's like, you know, I guess in their mind, you know, like whatever that is, like maybe farming, they're happy with that. But like our parents with no like educational background knew education was like the next step forward and always pushing us to study. At least for me, was that like kind of the case with you guys?
Yeah, most definitely. Actually, I don't know, like education at first, like, yeah, was definitely the way, in terms of like high school and stuff. And like, they wanted us to do well. And like, you obviously got in trouble with like bad reports from teachers or like bad report cards and whatnot. And there was always incentive if you got like good, my parents like pretty chill. Like if I got like good A's, like A's and B's and stuff, they threw me like 50 bucks. Like,
yo, I wish my parents did shit like that, yo.
Yeah, so it's chill. But then, when college kind of came around, it was a different like take. It was like, obviously in my parents' mind, my dad's mind, business is like obviously always there and can be done without education. Because yeah, he was also only 10th grade, studied in India. And my mom too. So like, when I was like doing not that hot in college, he's like, yo, like if you don't want to go to school, you don't got to go to school. Like, let's just open up a business together. And then he has the same mindset with like my brother too. And it's like never really like pushed any, like, it's more about like caring about our happiness than so much like pushing the education. I think education was like pushed at the forefront in terms of like high school, elementary and stuff. But as we progressively got older and like started to like get into like the real world and college and all that, he kind of realized that like education is not the only way. And his mindset is more of like a keep the family close and like a team, and you can like accomplish anything, which is kind of like what KV's dad is like, I feel like trying to like do, just keep everybody like under his like rope. But like it can't be having that either. Like I'm not about that either.
Yeah, you don't like staying at home, right?
Oh hell no. Yeah, I hate being at home. I can only be home for like 1 week and then I gotta be out.
Why? Like why is it like why do you feel that way?
Because it goes back to just like, I mean, everything comes back, right? It's like, it's just trauma at the end of the day. Like it's that brown boy trauma. Like, like you can't, like, you know what I mean? Growing up, like if you wanted to leave the house, like you needed to get permission. If you wanted to like go see like a chick, you had to go sneak out, you know? And like, if you wanted to even like, if you like, and like every time you open the door, the sensor goes off at my crib. Like, what kind of control is that?
No, it's definitely awkward going out when you're back home.
Yeah, it's hella awkward.
I don't drink when I'm home. I go see my friends, but I'll put like a 3-hour like limit max, and I'll just like, my parents will stay up late till like 11, 12, and they'll be like, oh, you come back? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be back.
Yo,
like
my dad would just say like, the hotel is closed, find your way in.
Yeah, the thing is, my parents, they don't go to sleep till late. My dad don't come back from like the store till like 1 a.m. So it's not if I even go anywhere and come back, like he's still gonna be up. Or like, and my mom just sits there waiting for him. So it's just mad awkward anytime you walk in. But like, I mean, back in the day, like if I'm trying to sneak out, like I had to like in the beginning of the day, I had to just like leave like the basement door open like a little bit, or like leave a window open a little bit so the sensor doesn't go off. Then later in the evening, I can make my way to like that door and know that the sensor's not gonna go off. But
dude,
like
back in high school, my mom used to like, anytime we'd be out till like 11, she'd be like home waiting downstairs, like not going to sleep. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, why are you still up right now?
Dude, I'm so glad I don't have the sensors, because I'm like a night owl. I only do shit at night, and like I'm kind of glad they're like deep sleepers. If I had that sensor, yo, it'd be so many like conversations about where'd you go, where'd you go, where'd you go.
Yeah, that shit is so fucked. But yeah, you just, when you're at home, you all that comes back, and it's like you can't just escape it. You can't just be like, and like same with like how Deech, he just like posts up in his room and like doesn't really like talk and stuff. I'm the same way too. Like, and you just like, I guess it's like you wake up, you might go work out, get some parote, and then like post up on your computer, and then like literally, then it's like fucking lunchtime, dinner time, eat your roti, come back, be on the computer the whole time, and then go to sleep, and then rinse and repeat. And it's like, it's just like a depressing ass life there.
Wait, so like, what do you mean you don't talk to your parents as much, or like you don't?
Yeah, like, cause like it's like the same. It's the same scenario. Like I don't really have much to talk to them about. Like I can't talk to them about what's going on with school. I can't really talk to them about what's going on with like other stuff, because it's not gonna make any sense to them. It's gonna like I'm talking to like a brick wall in a way, right?
Yo, that's exactly how I feel.
Like it's like, well, how are they gonna relate to me whatsoever? And like, that's why honestly I feel like phone calls are easier to talk to, because you're not like actually looking at them, and then I can kind of let the conversation like drift on its own. It's like easier to like voice my way. But like when I'm like physically,
it's similar though. Like I mean, like,
but I can talk about like more business things and stuff like that, and like more like real adult things like over the phone more easily than I can in person. In person, it's just always weird. Like I just can't bring up the conversations, or like there's just like weird pauses. Or like my dad just it becomes awkward because like there's like not enough time to like think clearly. Whereas on the phone, you're not like having that like physical like intimidation in a way, so you can kind of let your thoughts like flow and fluster and like whatnot, and then express yourself.
Like, is he in person? Is he like an alpha and makes you a beta?
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, he definitely has that mentality too, where he's like always right and like thinks it's his way or like the highway.
Wait, are you talking about your dad? Or
yeah, same.
Yeah, dad.
I'm always right whenever.
And he doesn't think he does that, but like it's a fact of reality. That's what he is. Like
are we still talking about your dad or KV?
I always got facts. Just trust me. Every time I always got facts. I'm proving you wrong every time.
Lucky you getting spanked after this, man.
Yo, KV, your wedding like song that you walk out to, it has to be like "Can't Tell Me Nothing" by Kanye West. Yo, like
no, that's not gonna be morning.
Yo, I'm telling you, it's so fitting. But yo, no, for real, yo, I definitely feel that a little bit, Irinku, like talking. I mean,
even like look back to like Godwar days. Yo, who's like everybody feared my dad. Like if you didn't finish like your like longer, and my dad was coming around the trash can.
Yo, bro, his dad was a menace. Like like as a kid, you don't know like how much you can eat. Like I just like literally this man, like first of all, like when they serve like us longer, like they do seva, they don't like whenever I say I want just a little bit, it's never a little bit. It's still whatever like the karshi, like whatever the what is it called? Soup ladle is, like whatever it fills up, that's what you're getting. And when I was a kid, I can't fucking finish all that. And but his dad is just like, you know, like 1984 Big Brother. He's always watching. Like if you like try to like throw out any food, he's like, we don't waste food here. He will not let you throw it out. And it's like one of those things where he's like, right, you shouldn't waste food. And like your parents are gonna back him. So you're like put against this corner where like you literally have to like eat this food, even if it makes you sick. You gotta put that shit down by any means. You gotta make room even if you don't have room somehow.
Dude, that's wild, man. We had so many people like that at our temple. My dad was definitely one of those enforcers. It's literally what it is, man.
It's like uncle enforcers.
Dude, everybody was scared of my dad. And, like, he loved it, too, I think. Honestly, like, that's how it is in the household. Like, you got to be an alpha male in an Indian household. You got to be able to stand your ground.
Do you guys ever wish, like, your parents were more open or whatever?
Growing up, probably when I was, like, in high school and then early college, probably. But at this point, the relationship is what it is. And, like, I don't know. I can't look at them as friends, you know, like at this point, like, you know, it's that parent relationship is still there. And you can't, it's weird to me now that like some people are like so buddy with their family and like their parents and shit. I don't know. Do you guys think it's like fake when like white people like, I don't know, take all cheesy pictures and shit and like, you know, my best friend, this, that, and third kind of shit?
I think parents should be just be like, I feel like I don't really wish that like parents were closer because I agree. I feel like you need that kind of like just like boundary. But I feel like I wish my parents were a little bit more understanding of like situations because I mean, brown people just don't understand like social cues or like, and it's just like constant, like, you're just like, you're gonna get embarrassed. Like, cause like when I was growing up and shit, like if like I missed the bus, my mom would have to like go like take me and drop me off to school. And like, my mom in the morning will put like hella haldi in her hair and it'd be all yellow and shit. She'll have like a towel on her head, right? And I'm like, I'm not trying to see I'm not trying to have everybody see my mom's like drop me off like this and embarrass me. So I had to like hop out of the car as like quickly as possible and like run in time, make sure like nobody see my mom and shit like that. Like, and I'm like, yo, go.
Deej, to your thing, do you think like, I guess to everyone, like, do you think our parents know how to like process emotional, like articulate emotions properly?
No, because they weren't given that platform to do that, you know, like I think that honestly, like my dad has said so many times how like our generation is so fucking soft and like if we ask for too much help and shit. And I'm like, honestly, like it's probably better that we ask for help because like you don't want to fucking just like lay it down the line, like, oh, what the fuck happened? Like we address the problem now and like we complain about it, but something ends up changing. But I don't know. I think back then when they, especially with them coming over to this country, like who was here to help them? Like literally they had to fend for themselves. And I don't think they understand that concept of like, even like therapy or like just talking or communicating with like people when you're stressed. Like, I think that's a foreign topic. They just kind of learn to adapt to the circumstance. It's sad, but like, I don't know. It's what it is. It works for them. Why change it?
I feel like they say we're like, we ask for help too much, but at the same time, when you want to do something independent, they like never let you do it. They're like, you're doing something stupid. I don't know if you guys ever have that experience.
Where do you
like,
think that comes from?
I don't know. Does that happen to you guys?
Well, it happens to me, but I feel like since you and me, KB, like we're making pivots in careers, that's why it's probably happening. They're not used to that because
no, mine's not even because like like the pivot doesn't even matter. It's more so like I'm just trying to do my own thing rather than because it's not like bad whatever I'm changing to whatever, right? And I never really told them that I was changing. I just said I was like going from a master's or whatever. And I just told my sister I was switching. I never told my parents I was switching, but they just thought I was like going from a master's or whatever the whole time. But at the same time, I was like, okay, so I got my master's, but I'm looking for a job now, whatever. And
so they don't even understand the concept of you like doing the programming class and like
I knew, because I knew they wouldn't have understood.
Dude, if he said
like,
camp, they're gonna think he went to the Navy.
Yeah, like for real, like they would not have understood that. So I just like told my sister, and I was like, okay, let me just say something fake to my parents because I know they're not gonna understand. It makes no fucking sense.
They would probably say something like you wasted your bio degree or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit's happened to me so many times. Like, I mean, ridiculous. I don't think they understand like the risk reward factor of like certain decisions that we can make. And I feel like we grew up in a generation that said, take risks while you're young, reap the benefits later on, fail and learn from that. I don't think they can fathom that concept of like
take risks, right? Like they were always just like kind of told to like follow this path. Like if you don't follow this path, like you're not going to get out of the mud. But we're already kind of like quote unquote out of the mud. So like we have more of like a freedom to take risks over there. Like if you're in India, the main goal is to like, come to America or like have like, opportunity. Opportunity is such a privilege over here where they don't have that. So like in some like perspectives, I do understand where they come from, but shit's just fucking annoying, bro. Like, trying to like explain it to them, like it's just different with me. Like it's not the same as in your case, but like, I don't know.
So when you're like moved to Philly or you moved to Philly, I forget, are you already in Philly, by the way?
Yeah, I moved like 2 weeks ago.
How'd they make you feel or whatever? Like did they like guilt trip you to like stay?
Bro, like it was so weird. Like the whole transition for me was weird too, because like I was kind of like pushing it off. I'm like, because it's like hard to jump into the mindset of like, all right, I'm gonna live by myself because I'm so comfortable at home. Literally food is there for me, like clothes and all that shit like cleaned. I don't have to do shit. Literally just have to like work out and do my actual job, and that's it. But kind of like what Rinku was saying, it was just, I felt like I was stuck in like a fucking rerun show. Like it was like the same thing over and over again. But like the only time I got some excitement is like when we would do these trips, like go to like LA or like Detroit and shit like that. At least this year. But to the transition part, like I don't know, like the 2 days before I moved to my apartment, my mom just randomly out of the nowhere, she's like, we're gonna need help with the mortgage. I hope you know that. Like you're spending like X amount of money on your rent and like parking and all that shit. Like you could have, like we're gonna need a mortgage like help down the road. I was like, what is like? I know that. What is the benefit of you saying that? Like, do you need money now? She's like, no, we don't need it now, but I just want you to know like we're gonna need it. I'm like, I didn't say anything because I know she is coming from a place where she wants to like let me know that I'm aware of these things, but they don't think I have the maturity to know that I'm aware of these things. Like,
dude, I think it's just, I just think it's, she wants you to stay, but she just doesn't want to say she wants you to stay. She just,
no, she said multiple times that she wants me to stay, but like they don't understand that like I don't like, dude, literally she cries every time I leave. Like even if I come home like every other week, if I leave, like I come home on Thursday and leave on Sunday, I'll come home again on the next Thursday, she will cry. She's like, oh, me. Literally, I don't understand. It's just like this, like I'm literally, since I'm the youngest, I've always been coddled and I've been the baby. So like it's just hard for her. I don't know. Like I'm not a parent.
Yeah, she's always been like that. I've like witnessed this when I like used to like when me and Lucky used to like live together, and like I'd have to like drive by Lucky's house. She would just be like and pick up Lucky, and then we had to go. She just like not stop touching and hugging, and like you can see the water in her eyes.
Yo, it makes it so fucking difficult,
and it makes it so awkward for the other person.
Yo, for real, like I'm like I literally want to just book it because it's embarrassing, but at the same time I know like she loves me, so like it's like hard. It's like I'm put in like a weird situation. I'm already like an emotional and sentimental person as I'm getting older. Like that shit just hits me like harder. Like you'd think I'd be like immune to it now, but like just seeing your mom tear up, I don't know, it just like always just like kind of breaks me a little bit. So but I don't know, she just like says these like backhanded comments at the worst possible times, and it just like pisses me off. And I don't know if she does it deliberately or if it's like like she just
low ball like call. Like did they ever include you in the decision of like buying the house and all that? And like
hell no, dude, I was in school then. Like there's no way. Like they probably thought ahead, like, oh yeah, he's gonna make, if he goes to medical school.
Yeah, when you're older, you're gonna live in your parents' house or whatever with your wife.
Dude, are they gonna live with you?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that. I really don't want them to, but like I hope like I think what you guys said, like they live next door. That's kind of what I want. Like I want my own fucking private space where like I don't have to like see them downstairs or something. You know, like I rather have that separation of my own locks and their locks. Like they can have a key, they can enter whenever, but like I just need that little barrier.
Point in your life, are you not going to be able to move anywhere outside of the Philly, New Jersey, New York like area?
The
I don't think
tri-state
You
area.
can't, yeah, because you can't go too far away from your fam.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in like a weird, like my circumstance is a little weird because like, you know, they're very old and, you know, my dad's 72, my mom's 68. Yeah, 68. And they came here pretty late, so they're not really well versed in English, you know, as well, like to like do shit on their own. Like I kind of still take them to doctor appointments. And
Do they
stuff
still
like that.
qualify for like Social Security?
Yeah, they be getting them checks, baby. Like they're like pulling in because like they're still working on top of that. So and my dad's like 72, so I think as you get older, they like the payments just get like more and more.
Bro, you should just have them retire. Like they can live off
Dude,
that.
they don't know anything else. They just know how to work. And like my mom was like laid off for a little bit. This woman was like, I think she was just like picking fights because she didn't know anything else. Like she was just like just pissy about every little thing because like she wasn't like exhausted from work. Like she just had too much energy at home just on sitting, and she just like small things would just piss her off. But I don't know.
You should have gave her a vacation.
They're not gonna go on vacation in COVID, bro. Like they're already like paranoid people as it is. I feel like the only way to preoccupy them was like
You should get them some like farmland and like be like, yo,
we got a farm in our backyard. That's what keeps them preoccupied, dude. We literally like I brought KV like vegetables to give to his dad because like we be farming out there, son. Like we got so like we literally got a full blown like little organic like little stand. Like we literally, I tell my dad, yo, like open up an LLC, yo, let's sell this shit. Like, tomatoes on deck, yo. Like we got Whole Foods beat.
go to local like create like a little
Farmers
like
market.
local farmers market.
Yeah, we have like, dude, we have so much like, I think I sent you guys photos. Like we have a shit ton of onions like in our basement, like literally more than like to survive us for like 5 years. Like I'm like, what are you gonna do with this? Like, oh, we'll just give it to the Gurdwara, or like just like, you know, I don't know.
Yo, you guys should start like selling your shit at the farmers market.
Yo, we have in the past, but then like it's like, you know, I gotta do that shit, or like, you know, my sister, and both of us, like it's just like, you know, we gotta like go talk to the people, be like, yo, we got this mount and stuff, like we want to sell. You know, like it's just like a lot of like extra work that it goes into just like open the farmers market. But we honestly should, like I tell them to like retire, like they don't really need to work, but they legit don't know how to preoccupy their time. Like at least my mom doesn't. My dad just is always outside, like grooming the backyard or the front yard, but like I don't know, he just plants all the time, you know, like farming's in his blood. My mom,
What about getting them a dog or a cat?
dude, they fucking hate animals. They're like, they're gonna leave.
Yeah, I feel like that's all brown
Yo,
people.
that's all brown parents, but like when like
Yeah.
people actually end up getting the fucking like animal, like the parents come around and start loving that shit.
Yeah, my cousin got a dog recently, actually in Canada.
Wait, Katie,
And-
what did your parents say about your sister's dog?
Well, I asked them to like let me get a dog too because my sister lives in DC, but she loves the dog whenever he comes home, right? Because it doesn't shed fur. That's like the main fucking issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
As long as it doesn't shed fur, she was cool with like her name's Evie, like the dog's name, so she was cool with her. But like I was like, okay, so let me get a dog too. She's like, no, I'm like I know you're not gonna take care of it. I'm like, yes, I will take care of it. Like she still treats me like I'm fucking 12 or something. I'm like, yo, I'll take care of it. I'm fucking 26. I know how to take care of a dog. But my cousin's got a dog too recently. His name's Mukkan. It's a German.
Yo, that's a fire name.
Yo, that is fire.
It's a German Shepherd, and it's gonna get pretty big, whatever, right? When it gets older. And my cousin brought it home in Canada, and my uncle locked all the fucking doors. He locked all the fucking doors, and then eventually came around to like liking them a lot. Now, like they send pictures of them together and stuff.
Yo, they should get another dog and name him Guy. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Like my parent, like I know I have to like open that door up to animals to as well to them. Like get them a cat. I don't think they can handle a dog, but cats probably more up their alley because they're pretty passive and they don't require that much attention.
Yeah, but cats smell, dude.
Yeah,
Cats-
they make your house smell like trash though, and
Yeah.
I probably care more about the smell than anything
Yeah,
else.
exactly. On top of that, just like shedding and shit. That's like the biggest no-no, like turn off to them. But
Yo, how do you guys deal with like your parents like always cooking Indian food and then having to like go to like school when you're clothes?
Yo, that shit was embarrassing.
Like tarka.
Seriously, I had school lunch. Like my parents were like,
no, like bro, didn't your parents like cook at home and then like the next day, like bro, that smell lingers on everything.
Yeah.
Nah. I had a different experience. Like I'd get like either like I'd pack my own lunch, like sandwich or something, and then or like just buy lunch from school, depending on like high school.
No, what are you not understanding about what I'm saying?
Wait.
I'm saying like.
Wait.
When they cook
the
at
smell.
home, it gets on your clothes, and you go to school the next day. And
KB, when your mom makes sog, when you go to the kitchen from your upstairs, doesn't the whole house smell like sog or some shit?
Yeah, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we lived in an apartment, so my clothes, they got that shit. Like, it's like, you know, close to the radiation, like where the nuke went off. Like, my shit smelled like massive, like just like straight torca, and that shit was so embarrassing. I had to like, I think I went through like back then, like Axe is the only thing I could afford. I went through like cans of Axe like a week just trying to make sure my shit didn't smell boof as fuck, yo. Because like that's where the stereotypes come from, where Indian people smell is because like, nah, bro, we don't really smell. It's just that torca be just fucking punching as hell.
I thought Harvey was saying like he brought like Indian food to like school or something and they were judging him or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean that also happened too, but like I would just chuck that shit or like just like not ever like eat it, and then I'm just like not eating at lunch or
why would you throw it away?
That shit smells bad.
I'm not getting like I'm not trying to open up a fucking like a cup of rice and some fucking like your travel and like warm that shit up. Like that shit is awkward as hell. I'd rather just starve and like not like that.
Yo, go outside and eat that shit by yourself rather than in front of people. Yo, I'd rather do that. So at least like the smell isn't like concentrated.
Bro, even if like packing lunch too was like it looks so frowned upon. I feel like in my growing up, like nobody packed lunch. In my whole school, I want to say like maybe like 2-3 people packed lunch. Everybody else was like buying lunch like in the cafeteria. So if you're like that loser that's coming in with a packed lunch, like it's all eyes on you, and like people say things.
I don't know about that one. Mine thing
Yeah, I
was
don't know
pretty
about
split.
that.
Mine was pretty
Nah,
split.
people like legit didn't even pack lunch, so I felt like mad self-conscious even like getting like taking home packed lunch because my parents didn't want to give me enough money to like get like school lunch.
My parents always gave me money to get school lunch too, but like I don't think my school, like half of my friends, like they would pack and the other people would buy. It wasn't like frowned upon in my school. I don't know if that was just like particular to your school.
No, do all you guys like eat meat and shit?
Certain days I don't eat. Like on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm vegetarian. So like, yeah, it's always awkward. I mean, I'm definitely gotten more comfortable with it now. I'm like, yo, I'm just like veggie this day, and like I'll find like accommodations to like fulfill my needs. But otherwise, like, yeah, before it was like a little bit awkward, but now I feel like I've become more comfortable with that.
No, I started eating eggs in college because like I was like a fucking stick. When you met me, I was like 110 pounds or some shit. Well, Friday I was at an event at like like it was like a design event, and there was like, you know, open bar, people coming around with food and shit. I just like straight up to like don't eat when I go to those things, you know. Like I have a drink in my hand, but like I don't know, that shit's like it messes with me a little bit.
Wait, you don't eat meat?
I don't eat meat. No, I eat eggs, but like.
Have you ever tried?
Yeah, I've tried like here and there, but like it's like something like I don't really feel the affinity for it. Like it's more so like, you know, if you're out. Well, I mean, like it would be like Chick-fil-A or some shit, you know, like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, the only meat I eat is chicken. So even like in those scenarios with somebody like if something is like beef and gets thrown on my plate, or like something that's sausage and like accidentally gets thrown on my plate, like it's just so awkward because I'm trying to hide it like the whole time, like or like I didn't eat it, you know what I mean? And like I'm trying to like finesse it or like try to get it thrown away somehow. So
wait, I didn't know that. You only eat chicken?
Yeah.
You never had like lamb, like at the halal. Oh shit, you're missing out on some shit. But like obviously, is
dude? But that's the same shit everybody says though. You know, it's like that's fucking pressure in a sense. You know,
I don't think you're missing out, yo. Like I only eat chicken too. But like I mean, I'm not like as them. Like if I've had sausage, I've had beef. Like if it's on my plate, if I'm like hungry enough, I'll eat it. But that's not like what I aim for first. Like I aim for chicken first.
Yeah.
But like.
Steak's not all
That's
that.
what I was gonna say. Yeah, the first.
Yeah, I tried steak. That shit is like literally just like fucking salt.
Yeah, overrated.
Like,
dude, with A1 sauce, sometimes it's fire, bro.
what's your like guys' parents like eating preferences? Are they all like veggies? No, are they like vegetarian?
Yeah, my parents don't eat out much. Like, we go to the same Indian restaurant every time we go out for food.
Damn. KV, do your parents eat everything?
My dad eats everything. My mom eats everything, but like she chooses to only eat like roti and shit and vegetables. And if meat, she only really eats chicken. But she's had beef and pork. Yeah, he eats everything.
Damn, savage.
Oh yeah, my parents like don't even like do eggs. Like they're fully like
Where do they get their
vegetarian.
proteins from, like chickpeas?
Like yeah,
Well, I don't
dude. My
understand.
dad like he like has such a weird diet, but the guy's like huge and he's got so much stamina and endurance. Like he's not like fat. Like he literally like goes like walking like 10 miles a day or some shit, or and like just like is actively like.
Oh, is your
working
dad
out.
like actually in shape?
Yeah, like definitely.
Damn.
I mean, he's not like he's not. Oh yeah, of course, dude.
Do you think dad strength is real? Like as we get
Hell
older,
yeah.
where does that come from? Like, does your nuts like produce more testosterone after you have a kid? Like, is it just like a biological response? Like, where does dad strength come from? I always just never understood that because I think it is real.
It's probably the whole like the survival mode. Like you gotta protect your like kids and shit. You know what I mean? So you gotta like it's like survival of the fittest. Or like you gotta.
No, I know what you're saying. Like when okay, that
I
makes
forget
sense.
what the words. Yeah, the words I'm thinking of. Yo, Deej, going back to like eating out though. Like, what is that experience like with the rents? Like, how? Yeah, give us that like image.
Dude, usually like it's like you go to a pizza spot. Like we just get like food like at home, but usually my parents are like. I mean, my dad likes to just cook at home instead of going out because he doesn't like to. I think he's probably like a little bit like weird with menus and shit too, and like they don't know what to eat when they go to like a restaurant. You know, like.
Dude, I wonder.
I don't know.
Yeah, are you like ordering for them or?
No,
like...
I mean like I don't go out to eat with them that much, to be honest. And my brother will usually like order. Though he's the one who likes to explore food and all that stuff. Like I feel like we play it safe. Me, my dad, and my mom.
Are you guys having conversations though? Like say when you go out, it's just awkward.
It usually ends up just being like something that causes an argument later. You know, like, me and my brother will say some head ass shit like that. Like one of them don't like, and then like. I don't know, that's what it is. Like, it's awkward. Like, we don't talk at home much. Like, we try to, but like.
And the funny thing is, whenever you're out and about with your parents or whatever, if you do get too loud, they're like, everyone's looking at you. Everyone be quiet or
Yeah.
Bro, that's the opposite in my family. My dad's straight obnoxious, and it's all just eyes looking at us. I'm like, yo, calm the hell down. Like, yo, one time we were on fucking vacation, and we got on these like, you know, like those like little like those cycle things that like 4 or 5 people that like get on it and ride the bicycle, right? Yeah. And my dad's on it, and like, yo, every single person that's like coming the opposite direction, he's hollering at them like, hey, like, just yelling like fucking loud as hell. And like every single person is looking at us. I'm like, bruh.
So do you guys go on vacation a lot?
We went like probably like once a year. Like my dad, like for some reason, he's like very passionate about the beach. So like he definitely incorporated that like pretty well into our lives, which I'm thankful for sure. But like it's like when you go to the beach, it's like just him like being in the water for like 6 hours and not doing anything else and thinking that that's the vacation. So
every time we'd go to India, dude, and I would just like, this is so. It's the
India's
same
not
routine.
a vacation. India's
It's
just
not
like,
at all. It's
yeah.
stressful going there.
Well, it's so stressful.
You go to India the first 2-3 days, you have to clean the fucking house. That's been there for like 10
Really?
years.
I feel like for us, it's always just got to meet these people to give them money. It's always just like, oh,
you're taking one suitcase maybe yourself, but you're taking like 5 suitcases to give other people shit. It's like so fucking annoying. I'm like, yo, what have these people done for us? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, it definitely goes a lot farther when we bring shit down out there than bringing stuff back. I don't know, like the value of our stuff is just more in America, but I don't know, like
I get it, but
it's just tiring, like overall though, like just meeting so many people, like sitting in the grandparents' house. Last time, so after graduating, I didn't have a job lined up, so my dad's like, he's like, okay, well, we're going to India because you and your brother both graduated, and like it's time to like see them because you're not going to see them for a while. I was like, god damn. And when we go there, or like my grandparents had to like downsize, like they like sold their house because like and moved into like an apartment or some shit, and it's like me, my brother, and my 2 cousins just sleeping on this like marble floor with like mats on it it's like week 1, I'm barely sleeping. I'm also a very bad sleeper. Week 2, I got on the couch on like this like a wooden couch basically. I'm just lying down on there. The next morning, my grandparents wake up at like 5 a.m. They start freaking out. It's like, sorry, we don't have money. Like you, it's not like your aunt's house. Like you just are overly comfortable. Like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't provide you a luxury. I'm just like, man, I just need some like sleep, man. Like I cannot sit here.
Damn, they're that aggressive. I feel like,
dude, nah. Every time I go there, it's just such drama. I broke my toe last time I was there, and I didn't want to say anything about it because like, I didn't want to.
Yo.
I come back. I'm on the plane with my like Air Force Ones on, and these things like they usually have like a little air gap, but my foot just got so big. My brother's like stomping on my foot. My mom keeps hitting it with like suitcase, and I'm just like bitching and moaning. Like a week later, I had moved my brother into college, and I come back home and I'm just like, this is unbearable. I go to the doctor and they're like, yeah, like looks like your toe was broken and it got infected and now you need antibiotics and stuff. But like the toe is mended.
I thought you were going to say you needed like an amputation.
No. Dude, it actually gets infected. Like, I mean, like,
he would have got it amputated.
That's what I'm saying, though. I mean, it's always like something or the other. And I always get sick in India and like...
Dude, that trauma is real. I remember in India, I was like riding a bike and for some dumbass reason, I tried to like hop this other kid's bike. I scraped the fuck out of my knee and like literally like it was just like a very deep scrape. Like, you know, I think I was in second grade, so maybe 7, 8 years old. I come home, literally, you know, tears down my face, like my knee just and my leg covered in blood. The first thing my mom does, grabs me by the ear, just goes to town on me, yo. They're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? The bike's fucked up. They're not even worried about my health. They're like, yo, the bike is fucked up. And like, as they're like cleaning my wound and putting on, you know, whatever, like, like bandages and shit, they're just still like grabbing me by the ear, twisting my ear, yo. That shit hurt back then.
Yo, that's literally the worst, yo. It's like, why do we get the blame when we're like the victim in terms of like, okay, yeah, you hurt yourself, but it's like, oh, why were you doing that activity? And not like, oh, are you okay? Like, it's such a head-ass brown trauma right there. Did your guys' parents like always compare yourself to like other kids in your community that were like your age? Like,
yeah, always.
Like, this
bro.
guy's like, oh, look at him, like he's eating 2 rotis, you're eating 1 roti. Like,
not even
no,
that.
My parents would compare like some dumbass shit like that. Like, yo, look, he drank his milk. Why are you not drinking your milk? Be more like him.
What was the one story of you like farce or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, that was just like, yeah, like, I mean, if you don't drink your milk, then like you're just like, your parents are just like threatening you, or like was threatening me to just like, they take me outside when it's dark out, point to the woods, and like, yo, we're dropping you off in the jungle, or drink your milk. And so like, obviously I'm drinking my milk.
Yeah, that's like on some next level shit.
Yeah,
I think there were so many comparisons like to my neighbors and then cousins. They were all like a year or 2 years younger than me, just academically like significantly stronger students, and like, like their school prospects, their career prospects, like they were big money things, and I don't know. That was rough, dude. I still to this day like cannot get over the fact that like I'm it's like fuel for me. Like, you know, whenever I get my big shot in like design and make a name for myself, it's gonna happen. And like mentally, it's just like this has been fueled by like all the academic disappointments in my life, and like I don't know, like that shit is trauma like that you can't really get over. It pushes you more than anything, like to just ignore like everything anybody's saying and really be able to like turn on blinders. Like that's something I've learned from like I don't know, growing up in like an Indian-ish like community.
Yeah.
You guys ever got like bad grades in school or like fucked up in school?
Hell
Anyway,
yeah.
like suspended or anything?
Oh no.
Nah.
I got detention, but like my parents never found out. I literally got like the detention slip because like in the morning my mom would be groggy as fuck, right, and like real sleepy. And so like I gave her like the permission, like I really woke up like really like, yo mom, can you like sign this real quick? And then like she's like, you know, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's just like a permission slip or something, right? And she was just like half eyes closed and just like and just like scribbled her like name real quick. But it was like a detention slip. And then when I had the detention, I was like, yo, I'm just like staying after school to study. That was like a pretty easy finesse to get out of the KV. What was it? Which one were you gonna say?
I got suspended in 5th grade. So like you know those mechanical pencils?
For how long?
Dude, it was the worst day. It was on fucking field day. That was the worst day. Literally half the 5th grade boys got suspended because this girl ratted us all out for some fucking weird reason. We took like, mechanical pencils.
Yeah.
So it was like a trend. It was a trend in our like 5th grade. So we broke them in half, put like rubber bands on them, had BB, like, BBs, like BB shooters.
Throw them on the ceilings.
Yeah, no, we had BBs inside the pencils, and you cock back your like eraser part with the rubber band and just shoot the BBs like in recess and shit.
Wait, like
and
BB balls, like
yeah, with BB balls.
Oh
yeah. And
That's some next level. What we did was just like throw like stick pencils on like the styrofoam ceiling, and the motherfuckers would get like detention for that. Just like throwing pencils, like really try to get them stuck in the roof of like the classroom.
No, but it was like an actual like mini BB
you pretty
shooter.
much got like advanced hornets essentially.
Yeah, basically, it wasn't like when you hit someone, it was just like a little annoyance, and like literally everyone had it. It was a trend, and this girl ratted us out. I've never cried so much. And I didn't cry because I got suspended. I cried because I knew I was gonna get my ass beat. As soon as I got home, bro, like that was like the story where like I got hit with the vacuum pipe. My mom's like, I was just laying in my bed, like cover up and everything, and my mom's like, of course it's like she's fucking cleaning, and she's cleaning in my room, right? And like she just has a vacuum. I can't even talk. She has a vacuum, right? Just like normal mode, and she's a vacuum. All of a sudden, she takes a pipe out, puts it on, just starts whacking me. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, I'm already crying. Like, you don't have to hit me more.
Wait, so you were already?
How tall were you in 5th grade at this point?
I have a picture I can show you guys. I was pretty tall. I was still probably one of the taller kids.
No, but like, what was your height comparison compared to your mom? Like,
Yeah, she's pretty tall. Like I think she was probably taller than him for like at least until he hit high school.
Oh yeah. My mom was probably taller.
oh, true.
Yo, so KB, so you were under your covers and crying because you already told her, and then she was just in your room cleaning while like you probably don't want to make eye contact with her. While you're under the covers, she just starts wailing on your ass.
Yeah.
Surprise attack.
Bro, that is savage.
Yo, so how do we like bridge like this like our brown like all this trauma that we dealt with and like our relationship with parents, like what do you guys think the solution is going forward with like the future generation and like creating that change so that they don't get put in these same situations, same scenarios that we have been through?
I mean, I think it worked, so we should just keep doing the same thing. Nah, I'm messing, bro. I don't know, like definitely like first you gotta communicate like with the next generation. And honestly, like kids who are like in middle school and high school now, you give them like that power that they need to like conquer like college and like just really put them on a good path. Because I don't think that our parents are really going to change at this point. Like they're in their 50s to 70s. Like there's no way that their minds is going to understand it. So you can just try to like be better with the next generation. And
This stuff I think is just like circumstance. The way I like kind of internalize it is that like they're quote unquote ignorant in the sense that like their emotional intelligence isn't as like to the level as it should be, but that's not because of them. It's just like circumstance of how they grew up. And to what you were saying earlier, Deej, I mean, it's kind of like glass half full, half empty. Like the system they did, I think that's like one of like a key factor in drive in a lot of brown kids and why brown kids are successful. Like you kind of, I mean, it's like a very fucked up way to go about it, but like essentially having to prove your parents, it's like kind of drive for you to not be like stagnant and not
disappointing.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like that just kind of helps you kind of figure shit out too, because you kind of have these stressors, even though there shouldn't be stressors, but I think most people do need those types of stressors to kind of like figure themselves out. But for me, I feel like I'll try to take elements of somewhat of that like kind of aspect, but be like considerate of like my kid's feelings. Like if he actually like proves to me he really wants to do this and shows me effort, like he really wants to do it, I'm not gonna just be in my stubborn ways, be like, nah, do it this way. Like I'll give him the go to pursue whatever he wants to pursue, but like you gotta show me like tangible proof. You can't off whim be like, yo, mom,
are you hitting him?
100%, dog.
Yeah, hitting works for sure.
No, 100, dude. Like I had this conversation so many times. Like I know it sounds fucked up, but like at 5-year-old, like you can't rationalize the 5-year-old. That motherfucker only knows good or bad. Obviously, I'm not a parent, and my views might change when I'm 30. But as a 27-year-old male right now, I remember like other 5-year-olds, they can't tell what's right or wrong. It's for you to kind of like tell them what's right or wrong, and to them to kind of understand it's right or wrong. Pain is the best mechanism to do that, yo. Like, they don't understand, like, oh, go stand in a corner, like, think about what you did. They're gonna just think about fucking, like, Dragon Tales. I don't know what the kids watch these days, you know, just like cartoons or whatever, some shit. They're not gonna think about they fucked up, or like, maybe they would, but I don't think they'll like internalize it where they like realize they fucked up. If you get hit, you know you fucked up, and you don't make the same mistake again, because there's like that pain, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the good parent. I'm gonna let my wife.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna hit. I'm gonna make my wife hit. Like, you know. My dad has never hit me. He only hit me once, and that was like, I only got hit by once. Yeah, when he hit me once, I knew I fucked up really hard, because my mom's always the one that like did the beatings. But I remember in India, my sister was just like laying on the bed, and I was just like a cocksucker. I literally just grab her by the ankles and just yank her off the bed, and she hit her like back of her head on like the bedpost, or like, you know, that little wooden ledge thing, and I think her back of the head started like bleeding or some shit. And like, my dad just came in and he like slapped the shit out of me in my face. Ever since then, yo, I never touched my sister's ankle or ever like, you know, never again, yo. I learned my lesson. I was like, yo, like, I can't be doing this shit. Like, when he hit me, that shit just like, that touched my soul, bro. Like, that slap just like, you know, like opened a door that was closed all my life. But I'm definitely making my wife hit.
All right, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Brown Boy Chronicles. We are available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Check us out on Instagram at The Brown Boy Chronicles, and feel free to email us with any questions or stories. The email is brownboychronicles1@gmail.com. See you next time.